I want to talk about the teachings of Ra and Ma. These teachings are as ancient as the Egyptian hieroglyphics that reveal to us the esoteric wisdom of the ancient past. Ra represents the life force energy, the sun. It is the generator. Very much like our navel point below the belly button, or the second chakra, that is this orange energy. The first is the red, the root chakra. The second, the orange. The third, which is the life force, yellow. So these are the colors of, we could say, the flame of energy that generates the assertion, application required for creation to take form. So Ra is very much the light, the generator that generates the energy able to move and shake potential into form. Very much the sun creates photosynthesis, and that photosynthesis generates the energy required for life to take new form, or to undergo the changes. The Ma is the gestation. It represents the moon energy, intuition. The moon is visionary. The moon is imaginative. The moon is dreaming. The moon is looking into possibility, into infinity, connecting to the heart and the mind. For the vision of new life. So it's very much the process of organizing and delivering. So we think of God, G-O-D, generator, which is the navel, which is the masculine, the Ra, the sun, that is an application, an assertion. The organizer, which is very much the mind, represents intuition, clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, the visionary quality of connecting to the cosmos, possibility, infinity, and then the deliverer is the heart chakra. It is the installation. We are installing this vision of life into the heart chakra, knowing the heart chakra is a large electromagnetic field, very much like a gong or resonance or a vibration. The heart is very much like the body of a cello. It is where vibrato can expand, where vibrato transforms the environment, or tunes or refines the environment, changing the environment to match that which is the vision or the strings that are being played. So when we think of our gestation, we think of an idea. When we think of integration, we think of an idea being applied, such as a musician is playing the instrument. The musician is gestation, the idea. The application, playing the instrument, is the integration. So how does this connect to the ancient teaching of what we know as twin flames, Ra and Ma? In the Egyptian past, the remote past, the woman, and we could see this in hieroglyphic writing as well as imagery or symbolism, the woman represents the guide to the man. She is the wisdom holder. She is the knowledge keeper. She is the access to this cosmic, Akashic record, a library hall of golden information. And the male is very much, in the ancient Egyptian symbolism, a servant to the woman. He serves the woman. And in return, the woman provides him with teachings and tools that can help the man create or build, construct a physical reality that is connected to principles of the stars. And women represent basically the stargazing ones. The stargazing ones are the intuitive beings who are connecting with cosmology, astrology, to help planet Earth reach its higher potential. So women are using cosmology, astrology to align the planet, such as aligning the pyramids or aligning megalithic structures or temples, sanctuaries, buildings in particular star alignments to support the higher destiny of human potential. And men, being a servant to the woman, are the constructors, the builders, the architects that transform idea into an applied science. So this is very much a Dharma path. In the very ancient past, we can see in symbolism a change from this Dharma, which was focused on environmental health, environmental balance, oneness with the environment, from what we know as the warlike behavior of ancient Egypt. Okay, that sees the pharaoh being quite brutal to his people, a culture of imbalance, of what we know as this hierarchy, uneven distribution of power, of energy, of access, of resource. That is known as the karma. It is the cause and the effect path, the fate, being fated to your caste system. But before that, we experience the Dharma, which is a elevation it is a higher consciousness. And in that, there is a focus on energy efficiency, abundance. It is a resonance of simplicity being a pathway towards energy preservation, energy conservation. So with the teachings of the twin flame and what is happening right now in our journey and in our experience of it, is women particularly are being asked to embody this ancient Egyptian woman. And when we see the symbolism and imagery, we see an Egyptian woman that is very regal. She has dignity and she has integrity, and those are the foundations for her high self-worth. So her high self-worth gives her this stature tall enough, secure enough, aligned enough to the balance within to receive the wisdom within. So women are being asked to clear away any tendencies to not be regal, to not be honest, to not be dignified, to not possess integrity, and are being challenged because the pool of the generations and the pool of our social, economic, and overall behavioral momentum is heavy on us. But the esoteric wisdom that is now being given and through the information age, we now have the awakening of our inner gifts and talents, and these inner gifts are being awakened to help us steady the new higher vibration within the body. We are installing it. We are just stating it as the Ma, and we're integrating it as the Ra, installing it within the aura, within the mind, within the body, within the spirit, rewriting human history, as well as creating a new generational model from a higher vibrational state. So that's the Ma energy. And that's what we as women are working on. It's an installation of higher vibration that is created through the access and the usage and the practice of these gifts and talents that are now being awakened within our energy field. They've always been in our energy field as women, but they've been dormant. They haven't been used. They've been atrophied. So the atrophied gifts of psychic ability, of healing ability, ritualistic miracle such as manifestation, using the moon to amplify vision or visionary or visualization for actualization. This is the alchemist of the Ma, representing the woman who is creating a brew, such as an herbal brew, a healing brew, a meditation brew, a clearing brew, a transformation brew. We are the alchemist, using cosmology and astrology as well as nature, Mother Earth, to create a proper brew for a higher potential for a human, for a group of humans, for the community. So this is very much what is being awakened within our aura and being reinstalled within our lifestyle and within our generational caliber that we are paving way to receive. So men, the Ra, the application, the assertion, what they are undergoing in this twin flame journey is similar, and that has to do with the ida, the ego. Okay, the ego for men, as we see in the ancient past with the pharaohs holding some sort of weapon up, or seems like a weapon up to these lower class citizens who are workers. We see this in symbolism. It is representing the need for control. Okay, the need for control, and that very much has to do with the ego. And the need for control comes through dominance and submission, dominance and submission, which we see in a majority of cultures. There's a dominance and submission, and leading into lack of awareness, lack of empathy or sensitivity, and a disconnection to the heart chakra. So the heart chakra, like we mentioned, represents the deliverer. So it is, when we say the deliverer, is very much like the liberator. So when we are disconnected from the deliverer, we have the generator of energy, the navel. We have the organization of that energy, which is the mind. But without the heart chakra, which is the soul, think of the diaphragm as the soul, and the heart is very much the the electromagnetic field that moves the soul into soulful. Without that system or that function, we don't know how to deliver or liberate ourselves properly. So what happens is we get into this unfulfillment, okay? Because we're not liberating, we're not delivering our potential, we're not delivering our soul into soulful. Soul is the potential, soulful is the realized potential. So when we lack soulful, because our ego, the dominance and submission, what we become is we are generator of energy, we are organizing it, but we are not distributing it. We don't know how to distribute it properly. We don't know how to balance it. We don't know how to receive it, give it authentically. And what we become is a game. And that's very much the man getting out of the game, the ego game. So this ego game is what we call the falseness of our lives, the fakeness of our lives, the disheartened emotion, the oppression of sensitivity, or the oppression of soul quality. We think of soul quality. We think of creativity. We think of art. That's the soul quality. And the soul quality, the music as well as the art,
is very much for Ra, is a part of, is helped them to reach deep within themselves and experience their soul. And when they have an experience of their soul, they become the liberator instead of the generator and the organizer and then the destroyer. So these are kind of what we're working on right now within the masculine embodiment and within the feminine embodiment. So for men, it's very much acceptance, non-judgment, very much for the masculine, acceptance and non-judgment. And for women, it's very much wisdom and authenticity. So acceptance and non-judgment, wisdom and authenticity for the women. And when this comes together, we get back into the natural rhythm of our higher design, which is not karmic in nature. It's very much dharmic. And that is aligning the planet Earth to a very sacred alignment for a higher efficiency on this planet Earth that leads into higher creativity, higher productivity, and innovation that can bring us the knowledge that we need at this time to really balance these evolving times. So as we are evolving right now, being pressured to evolve by the technology age, we need this knowledge to guide us into the next phase of human evolution. So twin flames, the Ra and Ma, is very much a resonance, a very ancient resonance that is awakening within the human relationship, because it represents the higher function of the male and the female within and without. The teamship of male and female, and how when the teamship is functioning properly, the woman, the Ma, is the vision and the Ra is the application. And when we don't have it working together, such as in our patriarchal society, we have a lot of mind matrix. We have a lot of mindsets, in sets, like a set mold, but we don't really have the heart of the electromagnetic field and the vision or the creativity to really improve the mindset or the set of patterns, the set of beliefs. So we get into this set of mold, but we don't have the changeability of our visionary connection to the ever-changing and shifting cosmology and astrology to improve these mindsets to be in a better alignment with the stars, with the planet, with the sacred geometry, for us to be more efficient. So that's when it's important for the teamship of male and female to work together. So for women as well as men, provide this function of constructing idea into form. They are applying the insight in an architectural map. That's what they do. They turn it into an architectural map that can bring idea into form. So without the masculine principle, women are very much creative, they have ideas, but they do not come into form. They're gestating within the womb of the woman. But the application, which is the making into form, the child or the idea does not come through. It does not come through. So when we think of the pelvic, when we think of moving the pelvic, the child comes through the pelvic bone, basically. The pelvic represents the lower chakras. And when those aren't balanced, we can't give birth. So women are the higher chakras. They're the heart. They're the crown, receptivity. While the pelvic area represents the male principle, which is the coming into form. It is the steadiness. It is the consistency. It is the stability. That's the legs. They represent the security, the stability, very much like roots to a tree. They're very much what keeps us strong, like the legs or the minerals in our thighs. It's very much strong thighs give us the stability, the consistency, the dependability to walk with strength and the longevity. So this is just an example of the teamship between men and women and the balance, and how the Rama, the twin flame, the flame, which is, we see it as the gas stove blue and we see it as the flaming yellow. The gas stove blue is the deeper you, which is like very much the Ma, the deeper you, and the outward you, which is the yellow, the radiance, the magnetism, like the Jupiter energy. It's very outward, it's very attractive, it's very alluring. So the outward you and the inward you, and when they're together, when we're not just outward, with no insight, with no intuition, we lose our sense of clarity or our higher picture or a bigger picture, and therefore control destiny rather than flow or have the foresight of destiny, but manipulate kind of destiny through our free will rather than our intuitive knowing. We manipulate instead of flow with our intuitive knowing. That becomes the ego manipulator rather than the liberator, like I said. Without the heart, the deliverer, the generator, the organizer, and the deliverer, without that soul reaching soulful, men are just, they deliver a lot of times through destruction, which is manipulator. We need to destroy in order to deliver. Destroy ourselves or a principle or a culture or other things to deliver ourselves. That's a form of manipulation. It's a deconstruct. So with the feminine, with the soul reaching the soulful, the potential being realized, we are able to construct, correct, and create our lives through the intuitive knowing. And that intuitive knowing does not need manipulation, does not need dominance and submission, because it is in alignment, or it is getting in alignment into a higher order, such as the cosmology or astrology, and that gives the foresight the insight and the attitude and altitude for victory to just flow naturally, such as alchemist, manifestation. So this is just a little bit of discussion on the Ra and Ma and the twin flame awakening that's happening on this planet. So when I see it as the ancient Egyptian past. Now, the ancient Egyptian past, you can see in symbolism and the imagery that there is no, the focus is very much on esoteric wisdom, esoteric teachings. As you can see, the women, they hold very much knowledge that men are being taught, are prepared to receive. Like receiving a brew, you're being prepared for meditation, you're being prepared for healing. You're very much the student being prepared to be a teacher. So that's very much what you see. It is a process of being initiated into your realized potential. You must be initiated through your devotion, through your commitment, through your consistency to the sacredness of your mind, body, and spirit, or the Trinity energy that we see in so many cultures and religions. This Trinity energy, mind, body, and spirit, being practiced through Tai Chi, through Karate, through Qigong, Kundalini, yoga, so many trinities with the mind, body, and spirit is a preparation, it is initiation, preparing us to receive our talents and gifts. And that's very much all that it is. It's not something complicated. We're preparing ourselves to receive talents and gifts that can help us in this physical form as a man and as a woman, help us in our physical form have experiences and gain knowledge that can best serve us, so that we can, when we are best served, we can best serve others. When we're best served by the talents and gifts of our realized potential or our soulfulness, then we're able to best serve others. And we reach what we call this masterful balance, or this total balance, total alignment when it comes to the earth chakras, when it comes to the mid chakras or the body chakras, when it comes to the above chakras, the total alignment that brings us into what we call this synergistic, synchronistic flow state. And that's the state of what we call Jesus Christ, or total miracle potential, total miracle happening.